Hello everyone, and welcome to the Brickformula review of my own creation, which is the Vulture. And this is inspired by the Terran Vulture from the PC game Starcraft II. And before I continue, I just want to point out that Blizzard Entertainment does not sponsor, endorse, or authorize this creation right here. This is purely fan-made by myself, so this is not an official set, okay? And moving forward, you can see that this Vulture is pretty cool and it closely resembles the one from the game. So I'll talk about what went into the design and the details, and I'll even talk about the playable features too. And here we go. And here is the Vulture, okay? And here's what it looks like from the front. It's pretty neat. There's the top, and you'll notice that the engines here are not parallel. So if you play the game and you look at it from the aerial view, this is what you'll see, alright? I actually built them parallel the first time around, and I was wondering, why does it not look the same? And then I realized, oh, it's not parallel, so I had to build it this way, okay? And here is the back, there's the side, and there's the bottom. Now, if you were to search the Vulture on Google or Starcraft Wiki, okay, you will eventually find a picture that looks like this, okay? In the Vulture page, you'll see this picture about halfway down the page, okay? You can't miss it, it looks just like this. And you'll see that I pretty much have all the details there, okay? I got this little detail here on the side plate, I got the fin here, and this is sculpted pretty well in my opinion. And you'll notice that the pilot is pretty big, okay? His feet actually extends down to here, which is impossible for a Lego minifigure. So I worked around with it, and this is the best I could do, okay? You got the seat there, and this curves down to the black piece over there. And then if you follow the engine, you'll notice that there is a little bit of red over here, and this part is in dark gray. And we'll have these parts over here. The only thing inaccurate about it are the exhaust pipes over here. Okay, you'll notice that the ones in the picture are a little bit bigger, and there's a bunch of holes here, which is also pretty hard to replicate in Lego form, okay? And in the end, I decided to choose this because it's a nicer provision, and it has this curved piece over here, which is also hard to copy. Okay, so in the end, I'm really sacrificing the exhaust pipe with the holes over here, which is fine because, you know, this looks a lot better anyway, and I used other pieces like barrels and other cylinder pieces, and it just didn't look good. So this looks like a much more satisfying result. First, we'll take a look at the guns, which you can open up by pressing down over here, and it will reveal these two revolvers. Now, if you play the game, you'll notice that it's actually a much larger barrel that just pops out from the sides, and it has a huge recoil every time it pumps out a grenade. Well, something like that is really hard to replicate in Lego form. Okay, I tried doing that with many different parts and shapes, and in the end I ended up with this because this is a improvisation, alright, because as you can see there's really not much space in here, and I'm trying to keep it down to minifigure scale. Okay, the only way that I can totally replicate that is if I make this like a Ultimate Collector's Edition, in which this thing would have to be 3 feet long, and I don't really want to do that. Okay, so this was pretty cool, and instead of popping out open, all it does is open and fire. So it's really close to the game, okay? Now, if you search for pictures on this thing, you may find some fan art where the engines are tilted like this. And I figured that's a pretty cool feature too, so I added that in there. And if you look in the game carefully, every time you run over a bump or a hill in the game, you'll notice that these move slightly like that. So it just shows that these things were meant to move like that as well, besides being tilted in this direction, okay? If you look inside over here, you'll notice that I have 2 joysticks for the pilot. And the reason why that's there is because when you play the game, you'll notice that there's a pilot portrait that is associated with the Vulture, and you'll see him yank a joystick every now and then, okay? And so that's why that's over there, so this way I'm not missing any features. And speaking of which, the only feature that I am missing in this Vulture model is the spider mine. Okay, I tried to see where those things come out from, and I have no idea. They just simply appear from the Vulture and they set themselves, okay? They may come from the back or from the bottom. Your guess is as good as mine. So in my original design, I actually had a spider mine attached to the bottom, but it looked really weird. So in the end, I decided to take it out, and it looks much better. But you're welcome to do whatever you want with a spider mine. Okay, there is some space for you to attach it there if you can make it small enough. Okay, so I just want to point that out. In the end, I'm really pleased with the way this thing turned out. It took me a long time to model it to look like those reference pictures. Okay, but it's okay. The most trouble I had was with the back over here. This is probably the most inaccurate part of the model because this was really blurry and hard to see. But after squinting a long time, this is what I pretty much made out. So hopefully this is pretty close to what we see in the reference pictures and the game. Okay, and in the end, it's pretty good, 90% resemblance, and to me that's just satisfactory. Now this model has 247 pieces, which may not seem like much, and you can get almost all the parts from the official LEGO website through the Pick-a-Brick, except for these two pieces over here. They used to have them, I have no idea why they took them off, but anyway, if you choose to get it there, it's going to run you in the neighborhood of $35 plus shipping, so it's easily going to go over $40. You can also get it from Bricklink, although I'm not sure what it's going to cost over there, and I really do not recommend you get the design by me, because that's really overpriced. So in the end, I think it's better that you go to my website first, where I have the parts list, alright? And I'll have the link down below in the description, and you just see what parts you need first, okay? And you might have them in your collection, so this way you only have to get the parts that you do not have, which is a lot cheaper. And coming up really soon, I'll have the instructions on how to build a model, so we'll just go from there, okay? Also, it would be really nice that if you decide to get the parts from the official LEGO website, if you can just be so kind as to go to my website first and go down to the bottom where I have the LEGO banner, just click on that to order the parts. This way I can get a small percentage of the sale at no additional cost to you. It'll be a great way for you to show your support, and hopefully you can see more of this in the future. And in the end, if you find that you are unwilling to get the parts on your own, I will offer the option so that you can get this model through eBay, okay? So just click on that for more details later on. And that's it. That sums up my review. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.